You come from motor racing. What do you think of bikes costing this amount of money? Is it worth it?
Totally. I think it's each to his own. Some people love handbags. Like I said, some women would pay 30, 40, 50 G's for a handbag or for a watch or for, I don't know, something like that. They get pleasure out of that. For me, this is sex.
Welcome back to another video, guys. Today I'm here with Claire. Claire, we were supposed to film, a couple months ago, and then you started commenting on Instagram, and I'm like, wow, I totally forgot about our interview, and I texted you, and I'm like, let's do it this week. It was like a 3-day notice, so thank you so much for coming on.
So good. I didn't want to push you because I wasn't sure. I was like, when you ask, then it just sounds like I really want to get onto this. Like, play cool, Claire. Somebody's asking you to be on a cycling podcast.
I get very nervous when I interview celebrities. So
I'm not a celebrity.
You
Please
are
don't.
a celebrity.
No.
Someone was just saying that you are on TV.
This is Singapore, man. Oh my God, that was like 2009. Polo Boys, if anyone remember that. I don't. Okay,
so who is Claire?
Who am I?
Yeah.
Claire is a forever changing person. I'm actually going to get tested, I think, for ADHD. A lot of people have told me I have the symptoms of it. I'm forever changing. I'm always doing new things. I think the core of me has always been sport. I think I say this a lot in interviews, but I really, that's who I am. I think if you spoke to my parents and had them on here, they'll tell you I have not changed from about the age of 5.
Yeah.
Just personality-wise. I used to be a little bit of a bull in the china shop, as the saying goes. I just rush in and do things. I've gone a bit older now. I think it's a bit more calculative sometimes. I'm pretty spontaneous.
Yeah.
I get bored easily. I get bored stuck in my own head. I like trying new things.
Right.
That's who I am. So you'll always see me trying out new competitions, trying a new sport. I love gaming. I love playing Valorant.
Right.
I can't say I'm good or not good at it. I don't play it enough because each game's like an hour long.
Yeah.
I'm also a mother of 2. And I like to joke that I am a child with children. I'm still figuring out.
The other way around, right?
I'm a child with children. I think that's what I get. I mean, all that when my kid pulls down his pants, it's all me. That's not Yui at all. I was like, it's good education. Who else am I? Well, I'm British born. I'm English Chinese with a Polish surname. My grandfather was Polish, and moved to Singapore in '94. And I've been here from about the age of 12, 13, which you can then do the calculation of how old I am. And I love sport. It's life.
Yeah, and you're also like a commenter, host, everything.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. There's so many different various parts of my life. It's just, 30 minutes, 45 minutes. It feels like it's so hard. I'm a presenter, I'm a host, and I'm mostly known for motorsport. So I do a lot of live TV commentary and a TV presenter for GT racing. I used to do GT World Challenge. Last year I did Asia Le Mans. Formula One's always the biggest year for me. I used to work with Porsche Carrera Cup. So I'm like that motorsport girl. My branding was Singapore's only female race driver, because I was back then. And then I had a go-kart circuit. So me and my husband opened up the karting arena, which then we sold on in 2020. And what else is there? I mean, I'm a mentor. I'm a mentor for other athletes on sponsorship right now. That's one of the big things.
Can you mentor me? I need sponsors.
I don't. Oh my gosh. It's a tough world. There's so many different elements to me. I think it's just trying not to dilute myself and my time. But I'm better at that now. 10 years ago, not so much.
Right. I get very nervous when I interview people like you who are like professional presenters and hosts, because I'm nowhere there, but I'm hosting like a cycling podcast on YouTube.
No, man. To be honest, my style has always been casual. And I think it's something, even now, I actually don't like hosting to rooms that only have 30 packs or so, where you can see everyone individually. I definitely get nervous that way. I still get nervous at some, I think, gigs that have a lot of pressure or you feel like people are watching you,
Yeah.
it's a lot easier when there's more people because you don't really you can't spot anyone else like out.
Right.
But yeah, I think casual style like this, I love. I mean, like, yeah.
Okay. Being a cycling podcast, before I get roasted in the comments, let's talk about cycling.
I know. Okay, let's get back to it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, so...
I cycle.
You mountain bike?
Yes, so I was originally a mountain biker.
Yes.
And I got my first mountain bike probably when I met Yui. So it was like a Trek 8000. It was so heavy. It must have been like 14 kilos or something like that. Yeah, so I mountain bike first, and I was, it's funny because I actually on my phone, I had to look through my Instagram and backdate all my bikes that I've had. And I think my first, so it would have been 2012 that I got the mountain bike, and that was just for fun. That was just for fun. And then I probably 2014, 15, then I got, I think, my first Pinarello. And then from then on I was doing like a lot more off-trail stuff and had my kids, and I was mountain biking a lot, did competition like in New Zealand and stuff, and then I got a lot more into road cycling, the social aspect of it. And then I progressed on to I was still mountain biking, and then I started getting really serious about the triathlon stuff. In which case, and also I think my styles, I really love hills, hence having a bike that's light. And
and you said you do a lot of running as well, right? Like initially.
I was always a runner. I was a runner at school, so I did nationals, short sprint. So I have a lot of burst power, but like I've been really working on endurance.
Right.
And I love cycling because I have a lot of injuries. I'm getting old. So cycling is really good for me.
So when did cycling officially take off? Like road cycling, so you did mountain biking first, and then how did you transition into road biking?
Transform your cycling experience with the Cyc Plus AS2 Pro and AS2 Pro Max e-pumps today. Say goodbye to manual pumping. The Cyc Plus AS2 Pro and AS2 Pro Max is an ultra portable with aluminum alloy body. It inflates two 25C tires from 0 to 80 psi on a single charge and fits both Presta and Shudder valve effortlessly. Featuring a digital built-in gauge, you get a precise pressure readings every time. The AS2 Pro Max offers even faster inflation and enhanced performance, making it the reliable choice for serious cyclists. Join cyclists worldwide who trust Cyc Plus and enjoy worldwide shipping straight to your door. Plus, use my promo code OLC for an exclusive 10% discount. The Cyc Plus AS2 Pro and AS2 Pro Max are the cheapest on the market with this offer. Don't miss out and upgrade your ride with Cyc Plus today. Visit cycplus.com now and use my promo code OLC for your discount.
So, the reason why I'm looking down is because I'm trying to see the year. I've got the worst memory, by the way. It's awful. So if I got the Pinarello Dogma in 2015, so that would have been when I was at the height of my motor racing. So I think I did that because of endurance. And I remember Yui saying that he used to cycle and that it's really good for endurance sport because in the car, it's hot. You're in there, for me, my races are like 1 hour long. And just doing endurance cycling was good. And it's probably the first time that I had my first taste of triathlon. I did a duathlon, like a team one. And then I really wanted to cycle and join the Metasprint series. I think that was the first year I did the Metasprint series. So I was like, well, I can run and I kind of can swim, and I just need to cycle now.
Cool. So then you had your first road bike was the Dogma.
It was my first one was a second-hand. Is it 65.1?
Yes.
Dogma. So it was a second-hand that I got from Pinarello. I'm definitely. We didn't want to buy anything new because I didn't know if I would like it, if I wanted to do it. And I remember Yusuf from Pinarello, we asked if there are any bikes for sale, and we got that, like a used bike. And I think we were just going off dimensions and just seeing, because I think Yui had an old Dogma that he had for like 8 years. And it's funny, he will spend on some things and some other things he just won't spend on. And I'm not saying he's a hoarder, he's not, but he's very sentimental, and he didn't want to let go of his first, I think he had an F8. He had it for a long time. So he was, I think you tend to know that what you go with, and he's all about connections and relationships.
Yep.
So he went back to Pinarello and asked. Yeah.
Yui, if you're watching this, by the way, can you be my next guest?
I did.
Okay, so then the F. So you had that Pinarello thing 6 point.
So 65.1. It was like a black and yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
black and yellow.
And what happened after that? Like
So then I sold it. So I sold it that, and then at that time I also, so 2015, 2017. Then I think I got like a Trek, like a downhill bike, and then after that I had my F10. So there's this thing called, for people who don't have kids, actually it's a very American thing called a push present, and he surprised me with a push present. Which is basically a push present is when you have a kid and you give a present. In the States, people get rings and handbags and I don't know, a pony or I don't know, something, you know what I mean, a house, something crazy. And he surprised me, and I think I was like, it was, oh my gosh, I remember it was 10 days before my first kid was born, and I was full on pregnant, 9 months, and he'd surprised me. We walked into Pinarello and he'd bought me this yellow F10, and I was just absolutely shocked. And he said, well, I hope this is motivation for you, since I got more into cycling.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was cycling at that time. I couldn't go into my road bike after 3 months, but I was actually on my mountain bike until 6 months pregnant on the trails, like just very basic.
Isn't that quite dangerous?
I feel like no.
Yeah.
Because I think I know my skill set level. I only stopped because it made other people uncomfortable, and that made me feel uncomfortable. I used to wear really baggy tops, and you couldn't really tell that I was pregnant.
Yeah.
So only when people were like,
"You're pregnant?"
Oh my God. That woman has a massive stomach. And I was like, oh, they just realized, shit. Like I used to go to Ubin and stuff.
Yeah.
Do easy trails. But no, But road I didn't. After 3 months I didn't, because I feel like that's way more dangerous. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think just getting over the bars, right? It's a bit difficult.
Which was okay. You know, I worked out until I was, I stayed on like a, what do you call, like a gym static bike. All the way into about like 8 months until it got too big, and then I was still working out until like the day before I gave birth. So I'm just super active. Yeah, yeah, I know.
Okay, and this bike here, let's get on to this one. So this is a Dogma F in a relatively small size. This is a
46.5.
46.5, and you're about a 160-ish.
About 164 my height.
Okay.
Yeah, 164. 163. Yeah.
And what's the story behind this bike? How did you get it? And
Okay, so in short, the short story, because I don't have a lot of time, is that you had a minor crash and down Vigilante, and it was 2020. And once again, he surprised me. I think my husband loves me. I love you, Yui. Best husband in the world. Doesn't like. I'm not interested in anything else, but he, I'll call it, invested in me. I wonder if it, now I'm just wondering, was it for me or for him? He was out for 2 weeks because he kind of hollow maned his skin off, lying on the couch, feeling sorry for himself. And I think I'd spoken about getting a new bike, like upgrading. And I had a whole conversation with him. He was like, you know, everybody's going to disc brakes. I was like, disc brakes? And everyone's raving about them. I was like, I'm sure it'll be fine. Like, you know, I'm not going to the Olympics. I'm not in the Tour de France, you know, whatever. I think I'll be fine if I can find something in the price range, or we didn't have a set price range, but just looking. So I did look at so many other brands. I did look at Specialized, but I've got a weird problem with names.
Okay.
I know it's a great bike. I know they're great bikes. I just don't like the name Specialized. So I've got issues. No, I don't. I just got issues with names.
Okay.
It's really weird how I don't like a product, even though they're great. I know. But I think I just stuck to what I know. Anyway, so he was on his couch looking through, and I think he found something. It cropped up, and we couldn't find any bike, even resale bikes. We looked at PIs, we looked at a whole bunch of stuff, we just looked everywhere. And for some reason, the size of the bike was impossible to get. Anyway, so he came across this, and it was a bit like do people swear in here?
Go ahead.
Oh, no, probably. It was a bit of a, oh, fuck moment, like, you know. And then, of course, I saw the price of the frame and stuff. I was like, I don't know. I don't think so. And I was like, disc brake? I don't have to have it, really. Anyway, that was that. That was October. You know, that was in October. Forgot about it.
Yeah.
9 months later, it would have been, what is that? So something like July 2021. He surprised me. He asked me to go down to Pinarello again. And then I walked in, he was like, ta-da! And I'm like, what? Ta-da, what? and then he's gone, and I'm like, seeing this gold bike. It's a Borealis Gold. And it it looks mustard in normal light, but in the sunshine, I think it was in the morning time I went there, it was stunning. And I kind of just looked past it. And and then he was just like, I guess it was like happy belated Christmas, birthday kind of thing, whatever. And I was like, what the? I was like, holy shit, because I'd known the price of it. And he was like, that's your present for the next 5 years. And he was just like, holy moly. It was a crazy, crazy buy, for me, but we wanted to do, I think we have so many conversations. I end up wanting to get a bike to upgrade it, mostly because I want to go overseas. I wanted to do more climbing and blah, blah, blah. And not to say that this is any different from any other bike, but I don't know. I think he was... I don't know. He loved me. He loved me.
Wow. And when he got you this bike, has it been all these components? Is it been the same, or do you
so I
change certain
shifted
things?
over a couple of components. So previously, was it on the F10 that I had Campanello, but it was shit?
Why?
It kept dropping the chain.
Okay.
And every time I surged, the Campanello has a little what do you call a hook, keeps the chain in underneath it, and every time it would just keep come off. So if I was on a long distance and if I wasn't with a team of guys, to fix it, because that's what I do. It would get jammed. It would get jammed inside, and it was just a nightmare. It kept doing that. It was just such a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
So we're like, let's back to Shimano Dura Ace, and what else? Had campy wheels.
Okay.
I think I changed most things. I mean, the Dura Ace I put over. Yeah, just the pedals were different. The zips were quite relatively new.
These are the three...
Because those are for tri. Yeah, these are the
353 NSW.
353, yeah. We've got that because I thought for the triathlons and stuff, it's light, it's pretty fluid.
Yeah.
And I started changing small things here and there, mainly because that we were traveling to Australia, and we wanted to do the 3 peaks competition and stuff like that. So I wanted a light bike to go up. My F10 was great, but it did feel a lot stiffer and it hurt my back. I had a lot of back problems.
Yeah, I know. We were just speaking before we started rolling as well that you guys was part. I'm not sure it's sponsored the right term with Sam from Spin Axis. You guys had some wheeliers.
So Yui had
Yui.
he had the wheelie, and then I
Baso?
did he have the? No, I didn't have the Baso, but he had the wheelie. Yeah, he was doing something with them for a while. Yeah.
So you were stuck with not stuck, but you were only riding this.
I know,
Dogma.
poor me, right? Poor me.
It's a good getting stuck with this.
No,
bike, though.
it's because of dimensions. So a lot of the different bike dimensions, I think what made it difficult is trying to fit, because everybody's different, torso, legs, arms and whatnot. So it made it quite difficult based on when they fit me on the bike. So I've got some injuries where certain things I can't do. So it's hard for me to get the maximum out of every bike because of my injuries. I've got a bad left knee. I have bulging discs, so I can't go super low. Anyway, so dimensions wise, it kept coming back to this. This was a good fit. So I think, I feel like my relationship with Pinarello, it's not because it's I know it's an expensive brand and fancy and blah, 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 but I think it's just stuck. I've stuck with what I've known and I just haven't changed to something else.
Maybe you got to try.
I guess, yeah. I mean, I can do that with running shoes though, running shoes, gear, stuff like that. But I feel for bikes, I just feel safe. Yeah, I think I know it.
So you're very sticky to Pinarello. It's very hard for you to try something else.
True, but that's why I end up getting for my TT bike, I got a Hanzo Factor, and that was quite a different change as well. But TTs, of course, are a lot more expensive in some certain type of way. I didn't think I needed like a Pinarello TT. And also we were friends with Factor, with Stanley and Roger and all that, and so we decided let's go try the TT Hanzos, and they were great. They just came out.
Yeah.
And they've been awesome for like my triathlon races. Yeah.
And did you go for a bike fit?
Yeah, I did. So the dimensions were good for me for the Hanzo.
And do you know the weight of this bike? Under
so
7?
with pedals, it's about 7.4 or something. Without pedals, I probably get it's obviously a lot less. Yeah.
Okay.
So 7 point.
You satisfied with the bike?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, it's great up hills and stuff like that. And actually, now I take it all back. Disc brakes are amazing. Oh my gosh. So I think the fear. So after I went to Australia and I was doing all the cycling over there, we did a pre-holiday and we literally did all the tour down under. All the tour down under hills. And Adelaide's crazy, and Yui's from Adelaide. So he knew all about it. So I was in for a big shock of my life. And it's crazy. Like, I've never done so many hills in 5 days of my life. I mean, going like to 23 to 28%, insane. Like, whoa. And having disc brakes, oh my God, game changer. Like, I've never felt, maybe I was overconfident, but I've never had so much confidence going downhill. Thank God. I got it, because the hills, some of them going down was insane. Yeah. And it feels like a sports car when you're entering a corner or going down. It just feels bitey. It feels great. Yeah.
And I have one of my friends who recently just bought a disc brake bike. He was on rim brakes for the longest time. He was not convinced in terms of just moving on to disc brakes. I mean, people can all have the debate, rim versus disc, yada yada.
Yeah.
But once he got the disc brakes, he was like, I'm so confident going downhill. Especially when it rains, there's the braking power, right? Yeah, so it's
it really does. It really does. I think, it just, I mean, I wouldn't say it's a false sense, but it does. It does, And I think on these, because you can put 28s, the tires and all that. I'm riding tubeless.
Vittoria?
So, and it does feel a bit stickier. There's more grip, I think, if you're doing stuff like corners. And I think me and Yui, coming from motorsport and from like mountain biking, that's where the cheap thrills are a little bit. I'm not saying that I'm like, MotoGP low. I'm not, no. Yeah. But I definitely, like, if you see me at triathlons and stuff, I brake late. Yeah. And for me, that's always a game. I'm definitely, I'll do it until something happens. That was like my motor racing. I would always brake so late and then pull back, like, okay, this is too late. Like,
but braking late is just a strategy, right? Just to catch up to your opponent, isn't it?
Well, yeah. I feel like, especially in competition, that people go like, oh, what's the point? The marginal gain is so little. I'm like, nah, man. Like, the amount, even if you brake late and come out, like, I guess they always say in racing, enter slow in, fast out.
Slow in, fast out.
Fast out. So definitely on the race course, slow in, fast out. Like, if you have like a slower entry, you can have a faster exit. I mean, not too slow, you know what I mean? Of course, that's dependent on where your braking is. But yes, in competitions, I think, I'm not saying like the top tier people, but in general competitions, people brake really early. You could have cheap thrills in your life. How about cheap thrills, man?
Take the risk.
Yeah, I know, it's fun.
Okay. Anything else on the bike that you would like to mention to the viewers? Let's say if someone who's looking at buying a Dogma F, is it worth the money?
Is it worth their money? Yes, because
Can I ask how much is this?
So I did the calculation and I added up bits and pieces here and there, and yes, I was a bit shocked. It's about 27 Gs.
Okay.
So yeah, price of a motorbike, or like I know, your loss says it all.
You come from motor racing. What do you think of bikes costing this amount of money? Is it worth it? Like,
totally. I think it's each to his own. Some people love handbags. Like I said, some women would pay 30, 40, 50 Gs for a handbag, or for a watch, or for, I don't know, something like that. They get pleasure out of that. For me, this is sex. This is like, I mean, I love cycling. And I think, I'm not one of those people who let it sit there and do nothing. My bikes and the things that I own, I want to use it, use and abuse, go out. And I think, I love it. And I think it's totally worth if you can afford certain parts to do it.
And you take this for races as well. You came back from Desaru and
yeah, but Desiree, because of Tri, I use my TT.
So you use a TT.
Yeah, but I mean, there's always the question of like, depending on hilly courses and stuff like that, the gains, depending on what kind of course. But most TTs, most like TT triathlon races, most of them, they have like a flat center part somewhere. I mean, I would have loved this at like some parts of the Desiree Ironman, but I mean, people are just going up this hill, like flying by me on their normal bikes. But for the flat bits, for the minimal amount of wattage for you going flying through that centerpiece, amazing.
Where do you find time to train for all these races? You're a mother of two. You host. You have so many things going on. Like how do you do it?
I get rid of excuses.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, Claire, what are you trying to say? The rest of the people are like, no. I definitely am. How do I put it? Most of my life, I've definitely been a person who kind of sat back and was always, what's that word? Like, you know, I'll do it later. Like,
procrastinate.
Yeah, I was a procrastinator a little bit, you know. And I think since I've had kids, you can't procrastinate, man. Life is busy and you have to just wake up early if you want to do it. I think for me, it keeps my sanity. I'm not really a person who does like really into like meditation and all that kind of stuff, but this is my meditation. When I'm out on the bike, when I'm training, I don't pick up the phone. I don't, I'm like, sorry kids, you'll have to go to your grandparents or you have to go, like, you know, I truly believe to do my own shit.
Yeah.
You have to do it, you know, and for some reason, like, if you just slot in and find the time, somehow time just appears that you can do it, you know. There's no way, like this year I've just been traveling so much and random competitions and most of the time people like, I'll be like, yeah, I don't have time. But somehow I'll be like, oh, it's okay, this weekend, I can do that on that day, like, you know, because I really want to do it. Yeah, and you just find time. There is enough time.
Do you think you'll ever stop?
No. No, probably not. I think one day I would love to go see my kids in competition. I think sport is great. I think like it teaches kids a different kind of resilience.
Yep.
I know why I play sport. I think yes, for the love of it, and that's just who I am. I can't sit still. But I definitely know that doing all these sports and competitions, and I find a different kind of resilience like that I can't really train when I'm sitting on a couch watching Love Island. You know, I mean, it's not the kind of resilience, it's a bit hard to train. Yeah, and I feel like I can find a kind of grit that when I come back to like the everyday life, the boring things that you need resilience for, of just doing everyday life. Yeah, I feel like I'm just a better person.
I can totally relate to you when you say that you cannot sit down still, because I cannot sit down still. I'm always on my feet, and I think there was once where I fell and I had some injury, and my wife, she was like, and I kept telling her, I want to go and cycle and stuff. No, you got to just sit here, stop making so much noise and just sit down.
But is that FOMO or is that...
No, it's just I just want to ride my bike.
Just want to do something.
Yeah, I just want to do something. I can't sit down at home and not do anything, you know. I got to be out there.
I know.
Being productive.
I've got to say, the last 3 years, I have tried to learn to say no. I think my whole life I'm just such a yes person. Like, yeah, I can do that. I can see you there. I can go here. And also... I do a lot of training by myself, which kind of sucks. I'm like a unicorn. Like when you see me, it's like, oh my God, you're out, like with a group.
Yeah.
You know, I went out cycling in context for like Singapore. There's this like, I joined the Rafa group years ago. And I thought, okay, I'll join a social group because then that's one way to go out, learn more about cycling, be with people. And I'm quite a social person, some aspect. And then I stopped, and then it was with a female group. And it's I don't have a lot of female cycling friends. You generally don't see me cycling with females. I have a lot of guy friends. It's because I enjoy the dirty jokes. The dirty guy jokes. I'm known as a bit of a potty mouth. And way more than Yui. Yui's a lot more vanilla. And so I met this guy. So I went out, I was like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years later, I was like, I need to try this Rafa thing again. Like, they're cool people. They're so welcoming. So, okay, I'll go out again. And there's a ride leader in Singapore. And he was an Aussie guy called Toby. And called Tobes. And he was crazy. Like, I remember the first time going out with him, he's cycling down the road and he's like, oh, uncle, Zawan. I'm like, who is this guy? And he's just cycling along. He's like, oh, all right, mate, so this way. And he's just going on and he's high-fiving people. And he's like, all right, mate. And he will slow down. And I was like, man, this guy is way more than me. Like, I blink my eye and he's somewhere else. Like, this guy's got ADD. Like, and I just felt so invigorated. Yeah. And I was like, man, I'm coming out for group cycles because of this guy. And it took months. And my husband always says to me, Yui always like kind of jokes, or does, I don't know if it's serious or not. He was always like, which group of guys are you cycling with this week? You know, and I used to have different groups because for whatever reasons, like whoever was cycling where. And I just felt conversation was great. Like, I feel like with guys, like, you can just say whatever, like, you know. And to be honest,
no filter.
Yeah, there's no filter. And I think once they know I'm like that, they're like, oh my God, Claire, that came out of your mouth. I'm like, oh.
Hanging out with too many guys.
I love it. I know sometimes you're just like, oh my God, Claire, you need to filter that, like, you know.
Toby is the guy who did like Rafa 500 in
oh yeah,
or
this guy,
right?
yeah, he's mad. He's such a good guy. Like, he's on the Turbs. Love you. Like,
he needs to be on the channel then.
Oh my God, he's so Tobes is the best. Like, you know, we need to get him on here and find a wife. That's my job. It's gonna be find a wife on the Oompa Loompa chat.
Yeah, on the Oompa Loompa channel. We have 25,000 subscribers. Somebody here will
Somebody, please get this guy a wife.
Oh my God. Okay, we've deviated a bit.
Okay.
Maybe we'll take a break and then we'll go for some Instagram questions and we'll come back. All right. Okay, so we are back and we're going to ask Claire a couple of questions that you guys have submitted. So, Claire, are you ready?
Are they spicy?
It could be. You want me to pick the spicy questions?
Sure.
Okay, let's start with the first spicy one. It's not spicy, but the question, or actually the statement is, again, another Pinarello?
Oh, is it another Pinarello from me or Pinarello as in?
I think generally on my videos in Singapore, they're all Pinarellos, all specialized.
I'm going to say it's just like cars in Singapore. Singapore has the most ridiculous amount of Pinarellos. I'm pretty sure like Lamborghini like dealership, they sell the most Pinarellos in the world. Excuse me, did I just burp? Yes, I did. I should have done it louder. I know. Another Pinarello, another person who has spent exorbitant amounts on a bike. I agree.
I get all these comments on my YouTube and Instagram. It's like, why are you Asians so rich? You're spending $20,000-$30,000 on bikes.
I guess it makes people happy. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's better than gambling and hookers. We don't have hookers here. Or we do have hookers here. We do, but we don't have strip clubs. So, you know what I mean? So, we don't have dollar bills flying over the place. So, I guess choose your poison.
Okay, the next question then is on the paint scheme. A couple of users asked why a glossy gold? Why gold?
Well, to be honest, I don't think I had a choice in that mode. So Yui, very good choice. I mean, he knows I like bright colors. I usually a lot of my cycling stuff, I wear yellow a lot.
You like my shades, right?
Yeah, I do. I love his shades. Like, I like bright colors. I sometimes buy clothing which is just so ridiculously hard to match. I had like multicolored shoes, which I realized after buying, it was just too hard to match. And I hadn't thought about the price. I just went, oh, whoa, that's so cool. Now I've got like I've gone to get tri-shoes, so very boring. I feel like I'm in my beige, white, black phase, which is terrible, but I'll still wear crazy socks.
I've got pink socks.
You got pink socks? Yeah, I know. Oh, I've got these very
I'm
old
bright
ones.
color as well, but I don't really care about matching colors. I don't care.
That was me until somebody felt very offended by my terrible lack of color combination. They were like, Claire, this English guy, who was like, I'm sorry, but your socks are atrocious. And then I went on a sock spending fee. Spree, sorry. And then, and now I've stopped.
And just trying to match everything.
But this color scheme, I mean, Borealis Gold, it's amazing. In the sun, it's stunning. Like, it really is. Like, it's so worth it. It's got that double color. A lot of my other colors for stuff is like lime green. This in between the sun, you can see from this angle, it's got like a green sheen to it. It's beautiful. Yes, it's very scary if you, I guess, scratch it and stuff like that. But I mean, yeah.
And this is a stock Pinarello MyWay color, right? It's not like you send it to a painter or anything like that.
Well, the handlebar was. The handlebar was they had to make that took 3 or 4 months later, because let me get the name of it. It's the handlebar, which is only for the Pinarellos anyway, for the Fs and I think the 12s. It can only use this, is the Talon front bar. Yes, hugely overpriced as well, but yeah, it's the only one that fits this, and yeah, they did the color for that, which matched. But yeah,
I've got to thank you for cleaning your bike. I know I sent you a long list of what to prepare, and I get a lot of dirty bikes here, which I don't mind. When I shoot the B-rolls, I got to clean it off, and I do a free polishing service for that.
That's
so
really
thank you
nice.
very much.
You know what I mean? I can definitely say, there's a lot of purists and bike people out there. I'm your worst nightmare. I am my husband's worst nightmare. I've realized that I got married so that somebody could charge all my shit, and could clean all my shit, they could wash all my shit, and be my bike mechanic. This last trip to the Ironman, the half Ironman, I didn't have him, and it was just, I felt like, damn it, like he's like.
Can you ride on a dirty bike?
Oh hell yeah, of course I can.
You're not bothered by it?
Only after walks. I've got sound issues, so if it starts clicking, then I mean, oh my god,
But that's too late.
No, you're right. But the problem is I don't do the down work before, the downtime before that. I have to be reminded 10 times that like, you've got your competition come up. Have you serviced it? Have you serviced it? I'm like, oh shit, my competition's in 2 days. I asked you 3 weeks ago, did you service it?
So I'm, Yui is like my wife. She gets everything organized, charge everything, clean the house. I'm the totally opposite. But when it comes to my bike, it has to be spotless. After my ride, I got to clean it. And she's like, yeah, you take a shower. You don't even shower as long as cleaning your bike.
I'm sorry, I can't associate with you.
Oh man.
No, but to be fair, I feel like I've gotten better now with like my Hanzo TT bike. Not like it's gonna make any difference to me because I'm not like a pro athlete, but I actually kept it clean, and I know like it's such a nice bike. So thank you for having me on there. It is now clean.
You've got a lot of notes as well. You're very prepared for today.
No, I came prepared because I don't know shit. Like
thanks for being very honest.
No, I mean, it's one in, one. I'm not going to pretend. Like, you know, like I said, I have hyper focus on things. I have a lot of like knowledge for random shit. Don't even ask me. I know random stuff. But for this, I'll listen to information. I'm like, yeah. And then it's one in, one out. You know what I mean? So like, I know the standard stuff. But if you ask me to go and ask, what bike bar was this? What, like, I have no idea. I had to go and I'm like, oh my God, I was like looking at this and I was like, oh, I was like, oh yeah, these hubs come with the zips. I forgot that. And I'm looking at this and I'm just like, oh, like, are these ceramic speeds? I can't even see. Oh my God, it's not written anywhere. I actually had to go and look, like, because I just can't remember. But some things I remember. Yeah. You know.
So do you consider yourself a bike geek?
No.
You're not?
No.
So you don't really care about upgrading a bike then?
I mean, it's terrible to say because I've got this like $27,000 bike. I mean, I know the parts that, I mean, I chose these pedals. These are the Duo. Yeah, it's my Duo because I definitely have a deficiency on like cycling one side of my leg left, and I wanted to be faster and I wanted to be a bit more eco, pedal strike and blah, 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 and all that nonsense. I love data. So the thing about me is I love data, and I think that's because of the motorsport bit. So I love collecting the data. I love knowing like just all the other like small little things here and there. I
can already foresee a commenter who's going to say this. So much data, so what?
I know, so what? But so what? I really love it. I mean, it's just it's like the motorsport kind of thing. I think data keeps you truthful. Data keeps you. I don't know. I mean, it's a bunch of numbers on a page, but I mean, I love it.
So what are you looking at on your? Are you running a Garmin?
Yeah, of course I'm running Garmin.
Okay, so what are you looking at?
I'm on a training plan, obviously. For with my coach who's giving me data for cycling, for swimming. Everything's always just numbers. And sometimes there is the anxiety, especially in competition. It's so hard to not want to look. And like today, post-competition, I just went out and ride. I was supposed to do zone 2, maximum 130 watts. I went over that like most of the places, and I just kind of smashed around Sentosa. Sentosa is an island over here, for those who don't know, that we do our fun activities and safe to ride on. I don't know. I guess so what back?
Why not go for a lady-specific bike? So maybe
because
like
they do this worst fucking fucking colors. Have you seen ladies' colors for like bikes? Baby blue, or I'm sorry everybody else, sorry, or like
sorry
pinks
for those
and
on baby blue.
baby blue or pink. I'm gonna say pink, but like I just feel like guys have cooler colors for clothing, for like everything else. Like it sucks. Like I just don't think the colors are nice.
If
I mean,
it's
you
not
sure
for
you
the
can
colours.
spray. I mean, a ladies' bike, but they don't do ladies' bikes really for this unless you go for a different category. There's none. Yeah.
Okay, last one.
Don't think I answered that.
Is the Dogma ugly or beautifully or beautiful generally for you? What was your first impressions of a Pinarello?
I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm so used to like the Pinarello shape. Some people, I guess with the Italian stuff, sometimes, you always just think about beautiful but doesn't work. It's like a Ferrari, right? Sometimes they say that. But I think it's beautiful. Some people like the basic look, or some people, if I had more space to get different types of bikes, I would get all sorts of different types of bikes if I had space. But I live in an apartment, and I think we have how many bikes do we have there? I've got the Hanzo. I still got my F10.
Okay. Is that for decoration already or?
No, because I'm going to be in between countries.
Okay.
So I'm going to Bali in 2 months, and I can't do my TT bike over there. But I will bring this with me for the hills, and I will leave my F10 here. And yeah, so I can have like bikes in between places. And it's also really hard to sell rim brakes now. Nobody wants them. Nobody wants a beautiful Pinarello. Also in this Borellis gold.
Yeah.
But nobody wants it.
In Singapore especially.
Yeah. Funny story, can I tell you? So my husband's been trying to sell this bike, the F10, for ages on Carousel, and somebody's been stringing him along for months. And then finally the guy after a while was like, I know Claire. He was like, I know her. I don't think this is her bike. And he's like, oh my God. He was like, I am her husband. And he was like, this is my page here. Like, I don't think, this guy it's so weird. He keeps having these conversations, like these low ballers.
Yeah.
And for some reason, he keeps thinking like my husband is faking it, like with selling the bike.
Maybe he got to take a selfie with you and like, hi.
Oh, he can't be bothered. He gets really upset in Carousel.
Yeah.
Like he gets really angry with people because
That's why Carousel is called Carousel.
Okay, I didn't know that. Carousel, because he's so truthful. Like it's like a real deal for him.
Yeah.
And I'm always like, oh my God, the people in there, don't get angry. Like don't let yourself get angry with these people.
Over these guys.
I know.
That's it. I don't have anything else for you. Anything you would like to address your fans? I'm sure you have a lot of fans.
I don't have a lot of cycling fans.
Do people recognize you on the street, by the way, when you ride? Hi, Claire, I watch your stuff.
Yeah, I've got like random groups of people and friends and stuff like that. Like I said, I'm like a unicorn, I feel like sometimes. People, tell like sometimes my other friends are like, oh my God, you're cycling with Claire tomorrow. I'm like, I don't really, it's weird because I'm not mainstream.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Coming from motorsport and stuff like that. I'm super friendly. You can always come say hi to me. I talk a lot. But yeah, I mean, in general, I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know. Singapore's interesting. I think people are too scared to say hi.
Yeah.
Or even talk, even though I know them. I have a lot of Instagram friends, like in Desiree for the 70-30. Instagram friends that who are like, oh yeah, I said hi to you over here, and I start chatting to them and have lunch with them and stuff. They were quite open.
Yeah.
But people.
I think it's the fear. Like I maybe people see like, oh, this is like some celebrity, A-class celebrity. I don't know.
Oh my God, stop! This is Singapore. No, I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, I think we'll just close it here. We've got a lot of things to do. We've got to film you on your bike and maybe do some Instagram, TikTok stuff there. So Claire, thank you so much for coming on.
Awesome, thanks for having me.
We'll get all these guys that you mentioned, Toby, Yue, any more. Shout them out here so I can go and get them after
Oh my God,
this.
I need to think more. Oh my God, maybe you should have Philip, who's huge. Have you had him before?
Philip, no. I recognize people by their bikes.
Oh, by their bikes?
Yes.
Oh my God, he's a cyclist. He's built like a Wagyu steak. Like he's huge. He's a CrossFitter.
Okay.
And yeah, he's great as well.
All right. We'll get all these guys on. And Claire, thank you so much for coming. And that's it. Thank you, guys.